Hello and welcome! Grab your clogs and your lederhosen because we're a day late and $1 short as usual, and Oktoberfest is no different. This is Bavarian sweet mustard inspired by Germany. We are so excited to have you. This is Soft Spoken.
And we're back. We are Sauce Spoken, with a podcast detailing your favorite sauces, dips, and condiments. My name's Adam, and I'll be your host, and I'm joined here this week by my co-host, Tori.
Hey there, my name's Tori, and I can finally use my Gutentag joke tonight and have it make sense. So Gutentag, I'm good and cozy. I got my slippers on and my favorite sweatpants. I hope you're cozy too. We're happy to have you. And to my right, the Woodrow Wilson to my Gary Busey. E, co-host and friend E.
But you're sitting here in a t-shirt. How are you warm and cozy? I got a hooded sweatshirt on, wool socks.
The
I'm
Woodrow
all bundled
Wilson to my Gary Busey?
That's right.
I know Gary Busey.
Who's Gary Busey?
Actor, big teeth, goofy
okay, that's
as hell.
what I'm thinking. And Woodrow Wilson.
That's right.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understand who we're talking about.
Yeah, right.
So you're Gary Busey in this scenario.
That's what he was saying.
Because I view him as like the weird one. And I view Woodrow Wilson as like the austere, guy that would have like the touching thoughts with Tori.
Oh, interpret it any which way you like.
All right.
Was Woodrow Wilson the one that does the Will Ferrell movies?
No, he was the 11th president.
Oh,
the Will Ferrell movies?
What's that actor? Doesn't it? Something Wilson?
No, you're thinking
Rainn Wilson? Dwight Schrute?
No, you're thinking of the goofy looking dude.
Yeah. The blonde, goofy-looking dude.
Oh, the blonde.
Owen
Wilson. Owen Wilson.
That's right.
Woodrow Wilson.
President. Yeah.
He may not be the 11th. I'm taking a soft stance on that.
Yeah, I think you're...
How were those guys teamed
probably
up?
10 off or so, but that's okay. Maybe not.
Maybe been James K. Polk. I don't know.
We'll look it up. Yeah, Polk, I think, was the 13th. I'm glad that we're doing all these, really assigning hard numbers to this so we look like real fucking morons.
Real rereads.
Totally wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just trying to stay silent. Yeah.
I'm gonna say Woodrow Wilson was closer to the 21st and Polk was the 13th. Let's see how close we are.
Wow. I'm gonna say 14 for Polk. Holla at my dude James K. Polk.
I'll say 16 for Woodrow Wilson.
I got his middle initial right.
11th.
Ooh.
That's what you said, isn't it?
I said Woodrow was the 11th.
Oh, no. Okay, but you did. But then, no, didn't you say after that I said 11th and you said, I think that was James K. Polk?
Maybe something like that.
The listeners will know. Let's look up Woodrow Wilson now. I said the 21st.
I think, yeah, that's close. 28th.
28th.
28th,
oh, wow.
okay.
Well done.
I was closer to the right direction. Okay. Between all of us, the sum of our knowledge was...
We had conjured up something.
Yeah, the aggregate of our knowledge was in the right ballpark.
I mean, considering...
You two, I wasn't even in the ballpark.
I went to public school, so I think that's quite the accomplishment. Thank you very much.
I'm not gonna break my arm, patting myself on the back here. I did sort of tee that up.
Oh, that's true.
That's
right.
Truth be told.
Okay, fair.
Whoopsies.
To be fair, my history teacher in high school went on to be a politician, so who knows how much of that he told me was truth or not.
Very accurate.
He's actually a very smart man. I actually have a lot of respect for him. Dr. Patterson, if you're listening, holla.
There you go. Holla.
I'm certain that he would not listen to us. He would not want to be associated. I can say that without doubt.
Oh, when you're in your car or you're on your sofa by yourself, maybe with a pair of headphones on, maybe it could be a guilty pleasure for you.
Yeah, I could actually see him.
You don't got to tell nobody
to an episode. I don't think he would be a devout listener.
It can be our secret.
That'll be the next season stickers.
There you go. It can be our secret.
Soft-spoken, your guilty pleasure.
We could do those little voting stickers, like the little representative ones, like a soft-spoken endorses this candidate,
Oh, definitely.
But, I think that would be pretty good. But without any further ado, it's time to catch up with the hosts.
Time to catch up.
Eric, you gave me you looked like you were dying inside while I did that.
No, it's fine. It's our thing now. It's fun.
It's fun, Adam.
It's totally
fun. I don't
want
to die every day.
Right? And that's how I felt this weekend. Yeah, honestly, it felt like we were just here and I was complaining about having a sore throat.
You were complaining about being here as well, so.
I'm complaining about being here. And now I'm still here, but it's by a miracle because I was nearly died over the weekend. I came down with quite the illness.
As opposed to your normal days when you were the pinnacle of health.
Right.
So tell us about your week, Eric.
That's pretty much it. I slept a lot. Let's see. On Sunday, I got 20 hours of sleep because I was so sick. But I managed to still go to work on time. Got to work on Monday morning. And
wait, you didn't go to work on Sunday, did you?
No, I called off from work on Sunday. And I was banned from work on Thursday and Friday.
Right.
Got kicked out, so...
I figured you were probably also banned by extension from your second job on Sunday, so...
Right, and I didn't get my COVID results until later on Sunday, and I was supposed to open, so...
5th COVID test of the year, baby! Going strong!
Number 3.
You are going for the high score at this point, somehow.
Actually, this year, number 2. Last year I couldn't tested, well, anyways.
Tori, what about you? Anything fun this week?
Boy, well, I was upright and conscious, probably a little bit more than E, my last...
As happens every week.
Yeah, however many hours. I told you about that last video game and how it was a stinker, and I'm going to keep on with the video game thing, and I'm back on No Man's Sky. If you remember
yes, I did.
that relic.
My brother's playing that right now.
Oh, really?
Let's dive deep into that really briefly here, because I feel like that's something that some listeners might have interest in.
Yeah.
But you guys recall, I maybe not you, Eric, but I know you, at least, Tori, when that game, before it even came out, it had this massive hype campaign.
Oh, dude.
Everyone was so stoked for
I was
it.
hook, line, and sinker, man. I was right there.
And that was one of those games that, like, everyone pre-ordered. And I remember that being, like, there's now, like, an internet mantra, depending on what websites you go to. I'm thinking, like, primarily, like, Reddit and stuff, where they go on and they make a campaign against pre-orders. That was the game that started that. And I want to say that was, like, all the way back in, like, what, 2000...
the game's 5 years old.
Okay, yeah, all right. Okay, so yeah.
2016. My brother was telling me about it. He said how it was one of the earlier Kickstarter campaigns. It's a Kickstarter video game.
So still to this day, there are people who go on active campaigns against pre-orders, and a lot of that hate was initiated by that very game.
Yeah, and to be very honest with you, I don't know if I was blinded by the hype at that time, but I really enjoyed the game right out of the box. I didn't think it was...
It's been overhauled extremely.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
No, but he tried it right. You got it new, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
when it came out.
Yeah,
right?
when it played.
Okay.
Yeah, I was... I was
back
there.
in 2016.
Oh, yeah, absolutely,
wow.
yeah.
Okay.
And, I mean, I liked it right out of the box then, and it pissed me off because you glitch and you fall through. That's not necessarily a hallmark of a bad game, but it's enough to piss you off.
Yes.
I was impressed otherwise. I turned it off, got on to something else. Who knows? And I recently fired it back up, and boy, I am just impressed as hell. So I think some of those peeps that you're mentioning, some of those folks that got mad about pre-orders, and I don't like pre-orders either.
Right.
I think it's incumbent upon anyone who's making something to put out a quality product. Look at us, for example. We put out a quality product every week.
For free!
For free, mind you.
Although we will take your money.
Happily
Not that
so.
proud.
That's right.
No pre-orders, though. You pay and you get.
But yeah, I mean, I think it caught a bit of bad rap. I don't know. I liked it, and I like it even more now.
I think so. I waited a year before I purchased it. I was super stoked about it. I was on the hype train. I was really disappointed to hear all the complaints people had about it, but still generally optimistic. So I waited about a year, and I think the price came down a little bit, and I scooped up a year later, and I quite enjoyed it. And it's one of those things that's kind of like Minecraft, where it started a revolution of very similar type games. Some of them were better in some aspects, some not as much, but it definitely started kind of like that movement, you know?
Yeah.
And I do like that style of game, I will say. And like I said, it was quite competent after a year. I played it for a little while, and I kind of got the gist of it, and I felt like I was kind of running out of the main features, and I stopped. I slowed down. And I tried to pick it up maybe a couple of years, like maybe a year and a half or 2 years ago. I tried it again, and my game was having some sort of a glitch or something like that, just trying to fire it up. I think it was something with my monitors or something was going weird, so I gave up. But I was recently thinking I might I might fire that up again and give it a shot again.
I think it's worth it. I think it's absolutely worth it. The experience you're going to get is entirely different.
I think that's part of the key thing for me is that they've done, like you're saying, Eric, they've done so many overhauls now that what you started with, even a year in, is not necessarily the same game it is today. And that's one of the nice things about it is that they were so behind the eight ball when they started off that now they're like overcompensating to try to get it back, into basically what they had originally promised and go beyond that. So it is kind of like you're getting almost a really good value for it if you did buy it now in your pre-order because you played it once. Maybe then you played it a year or a year and a half after that, and you got a much better improved game, much closer to the original promise.
Right.
And now you get almost an entirely new game.
Yeah, right.
After the initial release, I according to my brother, he said after the initial release, and it was such a failure that the team that designed it, went back and said, "Hey, we're gonna fix this. We're gonna make it right," and like spent I don't know 6-8 months, whatever it took to make the game better, and really re-released it to all their people who backed it, pre-ordered it for free. And and people, now it's
that was when I played it after they had done their. I know they had waited until they had completed their initial revamps.
But isn't it? It's a sci-fi like
exploration, like base building, type stuff.
Yeah, the gist of it's super cool. It's basically just you can travel interstellar essentially, between different planets if nothing else, and you can land on the so you get the elements of flying the spaceship both in outer space and in atmosphere. And then you can land it and you can walk about on foot. And there's a whole host of other, creature interactions, plant interactions.
Like ancient alien relics and shit.
It's got crafting. It's got lore. It's got history. It's got a wide range. It's kind of like if you go back to the original Spore, which I'm sure you at least played, Tor.
Yeah.
Even I've heard of that.
Very wide range and scope. And it wasn't, that was one of the things is that Spore kind of came out in the early days of the internet, so it wasn't as easy to go on and just jump on this flame bandwagon against a company or a product, So they didn't do as much revamps for that, but that was another game that fell pretty short of the initial promises that they had made. Still a really good, competent game, a wide range of gameplay styles and some really neat like creation, evolution type thing, but just a lot of people were pissed about that, and I don't believe they ever did really do any revamps on that.
Yeah, and they took a beating. I think it was Hello Games, I think is who it was. Man, they really... Oof.
Have they made anything since?
I don't think they
I don't know, but they improved the living hell out of No Man's Sky. I mean, that is good.
That's cool.
Yeah. It is worth a play in 2021, for sure.
Yeah, definitely 2 games I was kind of meaning to get back and replay a little bit. No Man's Sky is one, and you had mentioned last week Stardew Valley, and I just recently reinstalled that.
Yes. Might
have to give that a little bit. If I ever get any free time, I might have to slap around with that a little bit, because that is a nice chill vibes game.
Man.
Now, Tori, you're a PS4 player, and Adam, you're a PC gamer.
PC Master Race, holla.
Can you guys ever play together?
I wouldn't want to with a filthy console peasant.
There is some cross-console. I know Minecraft is capable of that.
I know. I wish there were more games that were, because that's the one thing that I do miss about console gaming is that sense of like, playing with your buddies. I really miss when you could do couch co-op type stuff, and I think we've talked about that before on here.
Sure.
The golden days of gaming,
golden ages,
N64 and stuff with all your buddies, Even Call of Duty, early like Xbox, like 360 stuff, Halo, Call of Duty. Man, that was a fucking blast and a half when I was in high school, and
for sure.
Nowadays you got to get online with your friends, and it's just not the same.
Pay for the subscription year.
Yeah, it's just not the same. It's not the same as being in the same room. You're all jamming out, drinking Mountain Dews and eating Cheetos or Doritos.
Can you imagine how bitching that would be now that these TVs are enormous?
I know, that's the thing. Like the technology is so much better for that. You've got so much better processors, better TVs, better games. I don't know. The whole thing is just phenomenal, and they kind of waste it. And I guess there's no demand for it, so I don't know.
And it beats the balls off of a 36-inch the bottom right quadrant of a CRT television.
I know, right? Yeah.
What's the latest Oculus whatever Rift thing?
Oh, from Meta, the company.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Is that what they're called now? Well,
the
that's
company
what
formerly known as Facebook.
Feta, the cheese.
Feta, yes. I do appreciate it. I think that's... the thing about that is that as I get older, the more I read about the news and stuff, I'm just like, how do people not see this as just an obvious scam? Like, Facebook was getting in these really bad media lately. They were in the news every single day for some negative thing.
Yep.
And all of a sudden they pull this rebrand out, and that's all anyone's talking about is the changing the name. And I'm like, this was clearly their goal all along.
Absolutely.
And it kind of backfired because now people are shitting on them for that too. But it's like, that was like, it worked pretty well. It got a lot of that negative attention for the things they were getting blasted for, and they're kind of getting blasted for different, slightly less negative things now. But I mean, it clearly got people talking in a different direction.
Yeah. Cheesehead Zucker. No thanks. The Feta head.
I did see the Feta head, which I liked.
I honestly didn't realize they designed the Oculus Rift and all the Oculus like VR.
They didn't design that shit at all, dude. They bought that shit.
They bought
Modern capitalism.
Okay.
Yeah, they purchased that. So in a goal to be a megalith,
You guys are talking about like couch co-op. I just like, and how technology's getting us there closer. All I could do is like picture like a big room and all these people with their helmets on crashing into each other. But
I'm sure you've been in a lot of rooms with people with helmets on, I think. So
nice.
Got him. But before we go any further, I have no good segue for this, but we are trying something a little bit different. Where previously it's been just kind of like a free-for-all with who's choosing the sauce for the week, and we've gone to a more of a rigid format where we're going to alternate taking turns. So for the listeners keeping track at home, this week, our inaugural week on this new format is going to be Eric's turn. He bought us a sauce, I believe it was from Aldi.
That's correct.
And why don't you lead us off with, Eric, what we're looking at this week here?
We have ourselves a Bavarian sweet mustard. Boy.
Say the brand.
Deutsche.
I don't think you're too... I think it was
That
like...
sounds pretty
I
good
would
to
say
me.
Deutsche Küche or something like that.
Oh. Fire it into Google Translate.
Okay. We'll do it later. Because I can't...
Yeah,
we
there's
don't
no
plug
L
us the
there. It's not
headphones.
really Kolsch. I know. I'm just relating to my most,
Well, yeah, you're thinking
well-known
of the
thing,
beer,
Kolsch
the
beer, right?
Reichdorf Kolsch.
Yep.
Oh.
You made it sound good.
Yeah, you're
it's
cheating.
totally wrong.
It's
It's what
totally
you're cheating.
wrong.
Yeah, you're the same type of person that was picked to read in class, and I'll look at the first letter and I'll look at the last letter and I'll make up the rest of it in between.
That's all how anyone reads anyways. That's actually scientifically how anyone reads.
Yeah, but no.
You've seen that letter that went
Yes.
around the internet
Yes.
where
I
everything
have
is
seen
misspelled, completely horribly wrong in the middle of every word, but you know exactly what the letter says.
But what I'm talking about is when people read the first and last letter and make up the rest in between. You not just rearranging. I'm saying about totally making a new word. Okay. Piece of shit.
And then we have I guess I don't know. Should I go into the label design?
I usually pass it off to someone else. You can do as you wish. This is your sauce, Eric, so I'm going to let you be in control of
All right.
your
so
fate.
I bought it at Aldi, and I'm going to go ahead and do the label design here. It's just a glass jar. It's got 13 ounces, a gold cap, has a dark purple, what is it, like a royal purple kind of
I would call
background.
it an aubergine.
Aubergine.
It's not quite that dark. Aubergine's practically black. So right by their logo, it looks like they have like a lion on a shield with some floral designs behind it, a little coat of arms, kind of cool. A little small, detailed in gold and purple. It says inspired by Germany. That doesn't give me much confidence here. I don't know if it's made in Germany or what. So
It's inspired by Germany.
It's inspired.
Inspired.
and
At
then-
least it's inspired by something.
Yeah, that's true.
at least it's inspired by something. It's within date. We checked that.
I feel like that's the same thing as saying German style, but I feel like it's weirder to say inspired by Germany.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
if you said German style potato salad, I wouldn't assume that it was manufactured in Germany and shipped here. So
Absolutely
Yeah.
true.
I mean, Aldi is a European company,
Yes.
right?
yes,
Absolutely. They're out of,
I want to say even German actually. So
I thought they were Sweden, but
I think you're thinking of IKEA.
yeah,
oh, that's right.
I think so. Yeah, they have Aldi Nord and Aldi Sud or something like that. They're basically Aldi North and Aldi South, and there's Aldi and Lidl's. So, and it's actually Lidl's in the United States is Trader Joe's.
Oh, get out.
Really?
Oh, I thought we talked about this before. Yeah. So
I don't remember that.
yeah, so that's the idea there, and that's if you kind of look at them format-wise, they have a lot in common. And one interesting thing that we may have mentioned before on the show is that in terms of amount of profit per square foot of floor space, those are the two highest, most profitable grocery stores in America.
Wow.
Yeah, beats the absolute balls off of like a Walmart.
I mean, damn. Yeah, we did bring up Trader Joe's. I believe you referred to it as the faraway land.
Oh, no, that was the Whole Foods we were talking about. The far distant lands of Whole Foods, which I have never set foot.
Oh, that was a good one.
I have set foot in Trader Joe's a couple times. My problem with it is the same thing with Aldi that we've talked about before. It's like it's hard to go grocery shopping in one of those stores and then just go home because they're almost never going to have everything you need.
You talking Aldi now?
Aldi and Trader Joe's.
Even
Oh,
Trader
really?
Joe's. Yeah, I've never been inside Trader Joe's. I thought they were more like, I don't know, I guess more like a Whole Foods is what I pictured them as.
No, I think they're actually quite similar to Aldi. I would say the prices are a little bit more expensive and they tend to carry a little bit more like boutique items that trend more towards like the gluten-free, vegan type diet, I think, generally.
That's right up your alley. E.
Maybe I should shop them more often.
Lactose-free, yeah. Which I wanted to make a comment about that. That stuff that comes in milk, the milk, like, how they have like lactose-free milk and then they have just regular milk, which is lactose that generally comes from those white cows that you see on TV.
Sure.
But there's a different chemical that's in milk that comes from like the darker colored cows, and you know what that's called?
It's a joke of some sort. Adam.
Lactose.
Lactose.
Wow.
Alrighty.
I wrote that down. I thought of that the other day. I really like that lactose from the darker colored cows.
All right.
Wow.
You're really cracking yourself up over there.
I thought that was clever. Thank you. No one else fucking liked it. The listeners are turning this shit off, but
it reminds me of one of the Hinge bios I just came across. She said she only eats pizza with chocolate milk. I thought that's interesting.
like not dipping it in it, right? Just like together. That's still whack.
I still think it's kind of weird. I was like, that's different.
Yeah, I don't know. I like chocolate milk, but
it's been a long time since I've had chocolate milk.
I don't know. I'd much rather have a nice, cool, refreshing Barks root beer. Barks, the root beer of champions.
What about regular beer?
Sponsored by Soft-Spoken.
How about regular beer? There we go, Tori.
Barks has bite.
I knew it was starting to get better when I busted out a beer.
There you go.
How come I didn't get a beer tonight, piece of shit?
You're always
I didn't have
welcome
one
to have
either.
a beer.
But without
You guys are
further
always
ado,
welcome.
Tori, you want to go ahead and lead us on to the actual internals of the sauce we're looking at there tonight? This mustard.
Yeah.
I gave a visual description of it earlier, and I said that I thought, well, I'll give mine after yours.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay. I took the lid off of the jar because I don't have enough left in my cup. That may or may not be indicative of the score that's coming up later on. But looking at it, I think the best way I can describe it, you guys have ever had apple butter?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I think this looks like apple butter.
I'm spot on with you. Actually, the safe for work comparison I was going to make was that I think it looks like natural style chunky or crunchy peanut butter,
Okay.
which
Yeah.
tends to have that more oily, runnier appearance to it.
It definitely has a sheen to it. Definitely got a shine. Definitely got chunks in it.
Possibly has botulism that we have yet to discover.
It's in date according to E.
We're a little
But
concerned.
the top of it was so much darker.
Well, I'm not certain that that's the case, though. I think that might be a bit of an optical illusion from just looking at it from the side. But I know that when we opened it, it didn't have like a pop when I opened it. It did have a plastic seal around it, and the lid was definitely on. It wasn't like loose, but it was looser than I would have expected. And the top did seem to be a little bit darker than the sides would indicate. So
I'm going out on a limb here. The nose knows. There's seeds in here, dude. I can smell the mustard seeds.
I
Oh,
think
I thought you
you're-
were going to say you could smell the seeds. I was like, all right,
I thought
Tori,
you
you
were
got
gonna-
talented nose.
I thought you were going to say you could smell that it was safe to eat, that there was no botulism. Like,
You know.
smells like mustard.
You know the nose knows. But yeah, I would absolutely say it looks like a crunchy, natural peanut butter. You can absolutely tell where the spoon came in and left. There was some vigorous tapping that was going on the side of this glass jar
I was
earlier.
Mocking Eric.
And there's a pile of mustard from that action. You can see it. It's there. It's a little mountainous, a little mountain of mustard in a landscape of mustard. But
That little mountain is still there. It hasn't reflowed at all.
hasn't reflowed. No, you can see it. I mean,
Wow,
it's
all right.
it's very obvious. And so it maintains its shape pretty well. I'm not going to try the blizzard test
I concur.
with
Sign off.
the
I will. It's Eric's table.
so
I just did it for the listeners. I did it as long as
A quickie.
they do at
at Dairy Queen.
at the Dairy Queen, and nothing came out of
A
it.
little jiffy.
I didn't hold it upside down because it does run a little bit, but I'll do it again.
yeah.
I'll do it a little longer.
Wowee, you're getting ballsy.
It is holding.
I'll do it real long. Ready? 10 seconds. One. No,
gonna
just
just
kidding.
drop
Ease blood
everywhere.
pressure is just
Yeah.
through the
I can
roof.
see his face is turning red. Yeah, he's getting all hyped up. He's getting angry. He's gonna kick us out of his house soon.
There's no doubt that you can see the mustard in there, like you were saying, Tori. But it's not like the maie, where it has the whole, mustard seeds.
This is clearly partially ground,
You think
although
it's
I think
cracked?
it is a whole kernel.
Yep, definitely worth noting. Yeah, it's a whole kernel that's been, just lightly smashed.
I think if you get like the stone ground stuff where you can still clearly see all the incorporated parts, whereas that my one was like unground.
Yeah, they're throwing handfuls of seeds in there.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas
It was
this is
still
definitely
good.
like a loosely
was
stone
good.
ground. Yeah, it was good. Actually, I don't want to spoil it, but I think that maybe I like the Maie better. But I won't want to spoil it too much. But before we go any further in that direction, let's get on to our initial tasting notes. Eric, you want to lead us off?
Sure. I thought it was you tasted notes of mustard, you tasted sweet notes, but you also tasted vinegar. And I'm not entirely sure how that played across my palate. It was sort of like very jumbled, a mix sort of like,
Yes.
it wasn't definitively in any particular order, but you tasted all of them almost simultaneously, I guess.
Yes.
Kind of
I agree.
crazy to say.
Tracking you, dude.
Yep. I'm tracking.
I think the smell
You
smells like mustard.
You had your nose all the way in that cup.
From what I can, I am still not 100%. Still, my taste and smell may not be exactly on par. So, yeah, it's this is my pick.
It does bear mentioning for the listeners, you tested negative for COVID.
I tested negative for COVID.
But the doctor did also say to you that it was possible that your body had created a disease heretofore unseen by humankind.
That's right. It's the new E variant of COVID.
He called you, what did he call you, a pathogen incubator or something like that?
It's one of my secret abilities.
Patient zero.
Yeah.
That's right. And you guys are still brave enough to hang around with me. How about that?
Or like patient zero self-esteem. Hey!
Oh. Dude, you are my immune system booster. You're why I never get sick.
Yeah, he's like having a small kid around you. He goes off and plays at kindergarten and comes back and, inoculates you at everything.
Yep. I don't know. I think working with the public, I mean, the last weekend I was working there at Home Depot, and I guess I don't think
Store number what, Eric?
Store, yeah.
The creepy DB.
Getting way too close to customers who decide to come shopping anyways at the Home Depot sick. And then
you've never gone to a public place sick before in your entire life, Eric. You've always stayed home, taken sick time, rested as needed, without any further instruction from anyone else. You've always done that.
This year I have.
Oh my
Trying
God.
to get better about doing that,
It does suck for you in particular. We may have discussed this, but you don't get sick time at your job, so that does kind of suck.
I do not. That's
Makes
true.
it. I'm surprised that that's still like a thing that places are allowed to do. Just totally deny you any form of sick time.
But I get vacation time that you can always use as sick time. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
kind of.
Who wants to do that?
Kind of whack.
Yeah, that's
kind of whack. Yeah, I guess so. That was pretty much my tasting notes. So, I was gonna say this is my pick, and I brought this here with high expectations and slightly biased coming into it because
You've had this before, right? Okay.
Yes, this is something that always comes out around Thanksgiving's time, November, or like during Oktoberfest, end of October, kind of. So, well, I guess technically Oktoberfest is September, but anyways, maybe that's why it tastes a little off.
Tori, what about you for your tasting notes?
It didn't come across how I remember. It just didn't come across how I remember, and that's disappointing.
Whoa.
Tori?
Yeah, see.
Sorry.
You haven't tried this before, and neither has Adam, which is surprising because it's been out for years.
Yeah.
And I know you guys like mustard. So.
I do like mustard, and yeah, I don't know. I didn't really taste much of anything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Maybe you should get tested.
Yeah, really.
I was expecting a vinegar bite. I was expecting, it says sweet mustard on it, but I don't know. I mean, I don't really count that. I mean, sweet mustard, sure, okay. There's going to be some vinegar bite. It is mustard, after all.
Right.
Sure. And, I like the look of it. I like the chunkiness. I like the seeds. I like all that in a mustard. But, yeah, I tried some on a pretzel, and then I tried the pretzel as the delivery method into my mouth. And then, of course, pull the pretzel out like you would a popsicle, imagine.
Okay.
So, yeah, and I just was sort of unimpressed, I was expecting the grittiness. That was sort of fine, of course, from those ground seeds or cracked seeds, what have you. But I was expecting more of a vinegar bite. I was expecting more mustard, less sweet. I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm kind of right on board there with you. I was a little bit disappointed. I don't think I care for the visual appearance as much. My not safe for work visual comparison was that I thought it looked like runny dog poop.
That's pleasant.
Yes. So, but for me, I definitely got a lot of the sweetness. It was hard for me to tell on the pretzel, probably because of all the salt. The salty pretzel, Eric, just enhanced the flavor so much that I couldn't even eat it. But
overridden by salt.
Yes, salt, the flavor enhancer. Brought to you by Morton.
Just so you say overridden with salt, but it just didn't bring any of the other flavors. It was just salt.
I didn't really care for it on the pretzels. Maybe a soft pretzel would have been better. I'm pretty much always in preference for soft pretzels, but you got us some nice Clancy's pretzel sticks. Yeah, I kind of got the same thing. Like I didn't really get a whole lot of bite. I got some vinegar. I got a lot of sweetness when I tasted it just on a toothpick. I think actually it reminded me a lot of the flavor in like that red cabbage slaw stuff that you get at like a German restaurant sometimes.
Okay.
It brings more of that sweetness with a little bit of vinegar and not as much with the mustard flavor. There was some mustardy flavor, but not, like I said, not really a whole lot of bite. I don't think it was good on the pretzels. I didn't care for it on its own. I do think it would probably be good with like a sausage or something.
Piece of cheese.
Some cheese. Yeah, I can definitely see something like that. So maybe we're missing the mark here a little bit with our tasting articles, but yeah, I don't know. That was kind of it for my initial tasting notes.
Yeah, I have to say, like, back to my story, by reminiscing, I thought it was really sweet.
Anyway, so now it's
I remember
time
being even more sweet than than what this is currently.
I think this is quite sweet.
Right. I know you say you thought this was really sweet. Like, I remember being like candy almost, like very sweet. And it came across way more vinegary to me this time. And then Tori didn't say you didn't taste any vinegar. So we're all over the spectrum here.
Okay. That's interesting. What did you normally have it on?
Pretzels. Yeah.
Oh, just like hard pretzels?
Just hard pretzels.
Wow.
Really? Yeah. Huh.
Around the holidays. So around Thanksgiving's time. So.
Now that's interesting.
Yeah, it smells. I think it smells like it smells like a mustard. It smells like it should have the bang that
there's no bang
that I expect. No.
Unlike Barks Root Beer, a quality fine product brought to you by the Coca-Cola Company, this sauce has no bite.
Nope, none.
I feel like Barks could sponsor us. We have there's no conflict of interest between us and Barks or are they Coca-Cola?
Or A&W for that matter.
Or A&W, although I really like Barks better. A&W is too like flat tasting and too sweet for me. I like Barks. Barks has bite. A nice carbonated finish to a rich malty root beer.
A malty.
Barks. Brought to you by Coca-Cola in Soft Spoken. A collaboration.
A collaboration.
Mugs is the same way as A&W. I don't know. It's
a soft spoken joint.
A soft-spoken joint production brought to you by Barks and Coca-Cola. We're going to get copyright infringement or something like this. We're taking satirical.
That's right.
Satirical license here for the listeners.
Flash the joke.
Coca-Cola. Wouldn't it be funny? They probably don't even make Barks. It's probably someone else. But anyways, without further ado, let's get on to Eric's favorite segment of the show: the ingredients.
All right.
He has been ingreed.
And there is not a heck of a lot to this.
Need of ingredients.
There is water, sugar, mustard seed, distilled vinegar, and caramel.
Caramel? Oh, caramel color.
Color. It says parentheses.
Color. I wonder what it would be like without the caramel color, because I would say it is very much caramel colored.
Oh, yeah.
Very much.
Unreal caramel color.
So, wait, water? Hit me with the first three again.
Sugar, mustard seed.
All right.
Then there's vinegar and coloring. That's it. There's really nothing to this. That's maybe why it doesn't have a big lot of taste or bite or bang or...
Yeah, but I feel like the mayonnaise mustard was the same, too. Like, it was just like vinegar and mustard seed, wasn't it?
Yes.
I don't know.
There wasn't even coloring in that.
It wasn't even coloring. There wasn't even any sugar in it. I think it was just vinegar and mustard seed.
I wonder how much colorant is in there, because I feel like sometimes colorants can give things an off flavor if they're in too high of concentrations. And that is, like I said, with how distinctly caramel colored that is, I do wonder if those colorants have an effect on the flavor.
Well, it is the fifth ingredient. It's also the last ingredient, so I don't know. Riddle you that.
Yeah. I take issue with the color as it is. I don't like it. I don't like that color.
I don't care for it.
Yeah. I would expect more yellow. Turn the brightness up on me.
Right.
At least a hair. Yeah, I need something a little bit brighter than that.
I would say either that or go like more tan colored with it, like that Bertman's ballpark mustard.
Ballpark mustard, yeah.
I would be okay with that, but like especially with like you were saying, Eric, it doesn't seem like maybe it didn't get mixed enough or something, or like settled and it's darker at the top and has that kind of like oily appearance. None of those things I really cared for. So,
yeah, I don't know, quite the letdown. I had such fond memories, and it just really, it didn't hit it.
That's a gigundous jar too.
Yeah, I mean, I remember also spreading on slabs of honey baked ham.
Yeah.
After the.
Oh.
But again, I remember it being like super sweet, so it was just like sugary coating with some mustard on it, on a ham sandwich. That's really good, and I'm sure this would still be decent on a ham sandwich. It supplies the mustard.
I would try it on ham. I would definitely try it on like a ham, or like I said earlier, some sausage. I think it would be really good on kind of like a smoky, salty, savory meat.
That sounds good.
I just think that on its own here, especially on the pretzels, is not doing it for me. That's just my personal thoughts. I couldn't find a website for this product, but I did find a little thing here for the Aldi reviewer for the Deutsche Küche Bavarian sweet mustard. Let's just take a look here and see if we find anything of interest.
It looks like a hella fishy-ass website.
Well, it's somebody's like personal website.
Oh, okay. We should have this guy on the show.
Yeah, really.
He's a blogger. Oh, hey, Rachel.
Oh. All right, well, that was a dud.
How do you say Deutsche? The beer mustard I'd like to try.
All right.
Yeah, so they don't really have a website presence here, but if we go on to like the Amazon page, there's this paired together with the beer mustard, Austrian beer mustard, which I think looks pretty good. I would try that in a heartbeat, although it's hard to tell the colors here, too, because it looks like the one we're having tonight, the Bavarian sweet mustard, looks almost red.
Did they take that picture on the floor?
No, it's a granite countertop.
I don't know. It might be the floor. It does look like a close nap carpet.
Where are they getting this? We're a little bit more professional than that. Damn.
Not even on not on the floor. But this other beer mustard here looks almost like that orangey color I like, or kind of like a light yellowy tan, but I think it's probably more tan in real life than it is appearing here in an oversaturated picture.
It's currently unavailable. I think it's probably worth mentioning.
Yeah, that's true. Let's scroll down and see if there's any good reviews here. Only a few reviews, and they all seem pretty positive.
So there's some 3 and
there's only 1.
2.
There's only, I don't see them. They must have deleted the reviews.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so not a whole lot going on the website here. Like I said, it's Aldi's. They don't have a web presence for this, apparently. And not a whole lot of other stuff we were able to find. There was one person that did a pretty solid review of it. The Aldi reviewer did a review of it, Rachel there. But she basically touched on the points that we pretty much already touched on,
Did she give a conclusion? Did she does she have a rating system?
Didn't seem to take quite a hard stance as much as we do. Didn't see a rating system on there. She just seemed like she was just trying to tell you about it in general. So
okay.
A pretty in-depth review, though, with some good pictures on there. I would say, if you don't want to go to Arb's website, stop over and take a quick look at hers for some really good pictures. That's the Aldi reviewer for this particular sauce. But what do you think, Eric? Any further thoughts on this here? We'll get into our ratings in a moment here, but how are you feeling about this purchase? First of all, how much did you pay for this? Do you remember?
Yeah, good question.
I do not remember. I'm sure it was around $2 or maybe $2.50.
It's a lot of mustard for $2.
Yeah, not bad price wise. I mean, I expect Aldi to be a fairly bargain kind of place to shop. I mean, that's why I shop there.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think if you paid $2 for that, that's probably about right. And like I said, I would definitely try it on some other stuff and give it another shot just to see.
Yeah, I think on a cheese plate.
Cheese and sausage.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe on New Year's Eve.
Even a soft pretzel,
Yeah.
Good. Better than these hard pretzel sticks.
Maybe a crusty bread.
Did we try a really sweet mustard on this show yet? A real sweet... Well, we tried those honey mustards, but they weren't that, crazy sweet.
We had, the Mr. Mustard.
Some of them were flaming.
Yeah. I don't know if we had any that were, really, really sweet. I do what we've talked before about doing that Durkee's, Tori.
Oh, yeah, Durkee's.
I think that's a mustard sauce, right?
Yeah, it's more creamy. It's more of a mayonnaise-y mustard, but yeah, that's terrific. Yeah,
and I've never had that before.
Oh,
is that a local? Durke's?
No.
You didn't have that at Tori's house one time, Eric?
Sandwich night, we had cold cuts that night?
I think way back.
Yeah, way back. Maybe.
Way back.
I'm sure Tori had me try it, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's good.
It's good.
On the Braunschweiger sandwich?
Ooh.
Now I want Braunschweiger.
Yeah.
Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and get on to the ratings portion of the show. Eric, you want to lead us off with your rating for this sauce?
Sure, I'll go first. I will stab it in its heart at, gosh, it just really wasn't, I don't know, trying it tonight, it was not good. I mean, I'm going to give it a 4.5. Unfortunately, I feel like it has potential to be better, and I remember it being so much better. I remember it being a good solid 8. So, twice as good as it was tonight. Could be just because I was recently sick. Could be, I don't know, maybe the recipe slightly changed. But I'm going to stick with the 4.5 for tonight. Tori?
Yeah. Ooh, I think you nailed it, my man. I like mustard, but this just didn't quite cut the mustard. Ooh, yeah, you like that.
Got him.
So it's going to be a 4.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a quattro.
You give it a 4 too, Eric?
I gave it a 4.5.
4 and change.
Okay.
Yeah. It didn't quite do it for me. The pretzel on its own, the texture was nice. Maybe, I'd like to revisit this once the snow starts falling and wintertime is upon us. Maybe on a crudité plate on New Year's Eve or maybe Christmas.
Crudité?
Right? Dude, you think I know any of this? Dude, I have a backwoods bumpkin you put in front of a microphone for an hour. Get out of here. But, yeah. So, with all that being said, yeah, I mean, it is a solid 4. I would like to revisit it, maybe have a soft-spoken rewind, which I have a soft-spoken rewind as well.
I have one too.
I don't know.
We'll save it for afterwards.
Save it for afterwards. Okay, I do not want to forget because I wanted to mention it last week. I forgot. But at any rate, yeah. So, quattro, Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. It's a 4 out the door. Didn't like it. Didn't cut the mustard.
Well, I'm going to have to say that I think for me, I think this mustard is falling down the staircase, as it were, because it hit the 4.5 step for Eric, it hit the 4 step for Tor, and it's going to hit a 3.5 for your boy over here, is what I'm thinking. Yeah,
Vicious.
I don't know, just I couldn't get into it. It didn't even really, like you said, didn't even really have like the mustard qualities I was looking for. I think it would be fine on some other things, but I think at that point you're relying more on the food item to be good than you are on this mustard. And as Eric has so patently said here before on the show,
question.
We rate sauces here.
That's right.
We don't rate sausage. We don't rate cheese because I'm lactose intolerant. So we rate sauces.
I know, you always say this every episode, and I realized that our Rico's one, I was like, oh, Rico's deserves a better score because it could be cooked with, and it'd be so good mixed in with food, and I thought about it more after listening to the episode after they aired. I was like, wow, I really totally disregarded the fact that we were supposed to rate the goddamn sauce by itself. Oh well, Rico's would have gotten a lower score for me, just in hindsight.
Really?
But on its
You're
own.
breaking Tori's heart.
I can see it. He's actually about to burst into tears. But I did make it abundantly clear during that episode that I was giving it a higher rating because I thought it would be good with other food.
Huh.
Dude, you're in control. This is the captain's chair, and you're sitting in it, my dude. You can come up with any effing number you want.
Yeah, that's kind of true, too. I mean,
Let your freak flag fly, brother.
We certainly allow discretionary points.
Here comes Ghost Paul.
No.
Oh, yes.
No. Okay, yeah. Where is Ghost Paul at, Tori? Give me the dice. Is he over here?
Oh, heck, I don't know.
He should be over there.
I don't see him. Maybe not tonight. He won't make it.
Okay, maybe not.
Eric had to clean up the house and put away the dice.
Put away the dice.
Cluttering up his house.
Must have.
Unlike all the other things in his house, the dice were cluttering up the house, Tori. This is an immaculate house. There's nothing else sitting around but those dice. Ooh, man.
Low-hanging
That's where
fruit.
we draw the line.
Low-hanging fruit.
I could easily take care of it.
Remind me again what these steel cupboards that you're sitting behind your chair for the past 2 months are for again, and the scale. What's the scale for? What are you going to do with that scale?
My man's weighing out kilos.
You going to weigh out your bullion on that?
That's for mixing resins and
for mixing resins,
pigments, paints, things like that. So
okay,
yeah.
You do a lot of pigment weighing.
I have in the past. It's
been
a while.
It's been 35 years, Adam, but I might do it again someday.
It's an expensive piece of equipment. It's really nice to have.
Oh my god!
A gift from my grandfather, actually. As
you can
well,
buy a food scale on Amazon for $10, Eric. That's digital.
You can. That is true, and I have a digital one as well. I just like to have multiple tools
It's
at
an
my disposal.
expensive
Measure
piece of
things.
equipment.
Measure things at the speed of sound.
I love like old. Like I got an old punch over there too. That's
Old
just sitting
food.
over there. Yeah, I like things that are old.
Yeah,
Antiques,
Say that
book,
again.
old book smell. There's a lot of things that old libraries and old architecture and
old carpet.
yeah. This isn't old enough carpet. That's why it's got to go.
Oh, okay.
It's not old enough.
He's gonna
right.
he's gonna go down to Construction Junction and find some used smoker's carpet.
Used carpet.
It started off white and is now a nice eggshell color.
From the hotel down the
Bed bugs are us. Yeah, exactly.
by the hour rooms.
Oh boy, Jesus. Well, I think that's going to do it for us this week here on the Deutsche, Küche, Bavarian Sweet Mustard. But before we go any farther, as we were so politely reminded earlier, it's time for Sauce Spoken Rewind.
Yeah.
Hit us, Tori.
So I know the cheese wow was a hit, and for good reason. And my Sauce Spoken Rewind is we have a new taster on board, and it's my cute little orange pumpkin cat Lenny,
Aw.
and he tried some of the cheese wow, and I'll have to throw it on Instagram for those who haven't been acquainted to my little boy yet. But it is just the cutest damn thing. He has a little bit of cheese on his nose, and boy, it is something. So I think if he was able to give it a score, it very much looks like he would have gave it an 8 or a 9.
Oh,
easily.
absolutely.
So
Awesome.
yeah, so keep your eyes peeled on the Instagram for a cute little cat enjoying a sauce.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. He is a pretty cute little boy.
He is a cute boy.
What about you, Eric? What was your Sauce Spoken Rewind?
My Sauce Spoken Rewind was I did a Sauce Spoken combination. I had some
right.
Tangy Bangy left still in my fridge.
It's not Tangy Bangy, it's just Tangy Bang sauce.
Tangy
right?
Bang, that's right. Tangy Bang sauce, and I had some Chinese fried rice. and I poured that into it, and then I also poured the sweet catch chili.
Oh, Jesus. Both of them?
Both of them. And mixed it up.
What?
It was actually pretty good.
You know how much I don't like mixing things.
Chitty chitty tangy bangy.
Yeah, it was,
tangy bangy in my garage. I'm gonna hangy myself.
Oh my goodness. Lighten up. Halloween is over.
Yeah, really. Wow.
Oh,
Poor
boy.
guy. I know you got it rough right now.
No, I meant
but
because of the visual imagery of the sauces.
Oh,
being
fair
mixed.
enough. Okay.
I don't want to deal with that shit.
mixed it up, put it in the rice. The rice looked, red because they're both red sauces. And
Was tangy mangy was red, or was it more of like an orange color?
it's pretty red, I would say.
Was it? Okay. Were they like complementary flavors?
They were. I mean, the tangy bang was more just spice. It's more of a hot sauce and the vinegar. And then the catch chili has that sweetness that it brings, but it also has spice.
The tangy bangy didn't have a lot of flavor, though, right? Wasn't that thing
It
part of the
didn't.
thing for us?
It didn't. So just
That's
just trying to use it up.
Okay, fair.
But it wasn't bad. Mixed up with the day old Chinese rice.
It does bear mentioning that I did say one of the things I could see that sweet chili sauce going on was rice, and Tori kind of cringed a little bit. But
Yeah.
so you would give that a favorable rating then?
I would
Eric?
give it a favorable rating. I think it was pretty darn tasty.
Do you think
I
it was
liked
better that way than on the nuggies,
Hmm.
or was it hard to tell because of the combination?
Kind of hard to tell because of the combination. That extra spice kick that I had from the tangy bang was enjoyable until the heartburn later. But I think I probably would have liked it. I liked it more on the chicken than just plain rice, I would say, for the catch chili by itself.
Okay.
If I had to guess. But yep, that was my little sauce rewind. I don't think I did anything else. I do have copious amounts of sauces, which is going to be
Most of your refrigerator is sauces.
right now. It's going to be highlighted in a couple weeks here. Well, listeners will see it very soon.
Wait, what's going on in a couple weeks? Or you're not revealing it for us?
I'm not revealing it yet. You'll just
Okay.
have to look forward to a new logo. All right.
A new logo.
There you go.
Wow.
That's right.
All right. An unprompted new logo. Oh, for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I actually said this while we took a break, so.
Eric, I don't listen.
I'm
sorry.
stoked for
Obviously, you didn't listen to
I
me.
thought it was a good idea. I thought
Oh,
that
I
was
remember
cool.
now what you said. Okay,
Okay.
I do remember now. I was half paying attention. I got distracted with something else, though. Ooh, a shiny.
We'll have to have a
Not
makeshift
surprised.
studio or something like that. Put up some bed sheets so there's a nice backdrop,
Right.
Have
Well,
to do
I'd like to be able to find
official.
something that I can isolate it out from. Like,
Can we
take the
get like a
picture. and then-
busty girl to take the picture with, too? We need something to boost up our ratings with,
That would help us.
Get our
I'm sure.
listeners and subscribership. But we should get a fourth co-host that's a chick. That's what we should do, like a full-time co-host, and just objectify her every episode.
I know Amy really enjoyed her time on the show and constantly wants to be back
That's true.
on.
She has a successful Instagram. She got a lot of questions, some strange questions. The other day, she posted a thing on her Instagram, her fitness Instagram, inquiring. It's an open forum for questions. She got some very strange questions. She got someone that was inquiring about No Nut November.
No nut.
Someone was inquiring about whether she was going to participate in National Nuggie Day and help people eat 500 nuggies. She said there was another one question she got. Something was like along the lines of, "Why do it sometimes be like it do?" And
sometimes it do be like it do.
I think even one of the questions she got was something to the effect of, "How to make the buddy?" or something like that. BUTTIE, how to make buddy. I'm assuming the answer to that is just more squats, but I don't really know. I know nothing about the person who asked these questions,
No,
so it's
nobody
hard to get in
knows.
their mindset,
Nobody knows.
Yeah, hard to say.
She also had the kill fuck Mary for the
Squats, deadlifts, and bench.
and bench. Yep.
That would seem too serious. It didn't sound like one of her more jokey questions.
Oh, I
so
thought it was pretty
skipped
funny.
that
It's
one.
kind of jokey.
Someone else
All
asked
right.
her what was the benefits of using methane rocket fuel to get to Mars or something like that, and she basically said that she likes farting. That was her answer. Well, farts feel good, so therefore so. But before we go any farther, Eric, why don't you go ahead and get around to your closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts. The closing thoughts this week are going
I
to
snuck
be...
them up on you this week. I didn't format the question in the same way. I was seeing if I could trip you up.
Did you really?
A little bit, slightly.
Okay.
I
didn't
usually
notice.
say, Eric,
That's true.
do you have any closing
Long
thoughts to share
pause.
with us?
I
just
do.
had to scare you
my
into it
thoughts,
this week.
Right? Yeah, my thoughts were about... my closing thoughts is about like the opportunities in life. You have lots of...
Wow.
you have lots of
Biting my
options
stuff,
to
always.
take control and take control and make concrete choices and set hard dates. This is something that our good friend of mine has recently been harping me on. That's my closing thoughts.
Very good. What about you, Tori? I think it's time for Touching Thoughts with Tori.
My ankle really itches.
Uh-oh.
That's not my final thought.
We're
but
leaving it in the show, though.
Not that you care. Or
Maybe they do.
They might.
Don't make that assumption on the listener's behalf. They
That's
might
right.
care.
That's right.
How are your ears feeling this week? Still good?
My ears are in good shape this week.
Any other orifice problems? we should be aware of?
No, it's only just the ears. The ears
Okay.
are weird. But, hey, you'll have that. So I want to talk today. I know, it seems that a lot of things are in short supply these days. You hear about it on the news. That mustard, unfortunately, was unavailable on Amazon on the off chance you'd want to buy it after our Shining review. But there's a lot of things that are in short supply, and I think one of those things is just the act of being complimentary. And I want to give you a challenge within the next week, and I want you to find an opportunity to give someone a genuine compliment and mean it, or a word of encouragement. I think it's important, and I think we should look for opportunities to encourage each other, lift each other up, and say nice things, because Lord knows, if there's one thing that we are never in short supply of, that's bitching and moaning and complaining. And sometimes if it can be constructive, most of the time it's not. So look for the opportunity to make a compliment, make someone's day, encourage somebody, because you'll feel good and it will come back to you a lot of times in spades. So we love you, of course. We're proud of you. And thank you so much for being here. And good night.
Great. Well, I think those were some very touching thoughts as always. And as always, very happy to have you guys here. There's a little compliment from us to
there
you.
You go. Check mark, done. For the whole week, you're
That's
good
right.
now.
I'm good. I like to get it done early.
Yeah,
now I don't have to worry about
knocked
it.
out.
I like to get I like to accomplish things and get them done, knocked out of the way, not procrastinate to the last second at all. And I just feel like a big weight's been lifted off my shoulders without that hanging over me the whole time.
It was so genuine, Adam. It was like it was more than just checking a mark off for you. I could tell it. I could feel it.
I don't like you when you get sarcastic like that.
Your entrepreneurial spirit should be looked at and appreciated. See, now I'm done for the week. Booyah, done.
Oh boy. Well, that's going to do it for us this week. As always, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Oh no, it's the end of the show. Thank goodness there's several other episodes waiting just for you. Check out our Instagram. We like to have some fun over there. We post the sauce bottle pics if you're curious, and the occasional meme. That's going to be Sauce Spoken Official. Despite our humble nature, we are accepting donations, believe it or not. Look us up on PayPal. That's going to be @SauceSpoken. Hey, and if you like what you hear, grease those palms, babe. Lastly, roll up your sleeves and get into the nitty-gritty at saucespoken.wordpress.com. We have show notes and details. Check it out. Share us with a family member or a friend. If you're enjoying it, I'm certain they will too. Good night.